You are gnomes in the from the fun-loving Harambe tribe who have lived for months in the happy land of Owessji, telling jokes, memeing, and having fun. Owessji, old-timers say that Owessji used to be a wild and empty, lawless place full of adventuring bands and who would go on perilous adventures, fight and swear all the time and get drunk. But in more recent years, it's become the population has grown and it's become more and more civilized. As the Iron Tyrant first rose up and expelled the wildest people, rebels at the edges of society, but gradually he tightened his grip on the rest. Honest artisans of knitted dice bags were the first to fall, then peddlers of the harmless drugs called YouTube, and now Harambe is coming under his attack. For months he has been silent, but there are rumors that he is on the wild. But you live in a little quiet Harambe farming community on the plains of Owessji. And so far, these are just distant rumors. You finish your Harambe farming and daily activities, and evening is drawing in. Can you describe how SB Spuntifax is spending his evening, Rob? Describe him.
So Spuntifax is a small gnome who looks more like a tree trunk with his very wrinkled and old leathery skin. He has just the most bushy mane of tangled white hair, and sort of comes down into a slight beard. And he would spend his evening probably reading with a glass of some kind of milk or something, but would fall asleep at about very early on in the evening and not wake to the early hours of the morning.
Okay, so just fall asleep in your little farmstead.
Exactly.
In your idyllic little farmstead.
Almost immediately as he sits down, just falls asleep.
Okay. Meanwhile, can you describe Nissa Quill Sharpener, please, Charlie? Are you there?
All right, I had to release a setting there. I had. Okay, she's a dark-haired, almost black-haired, a grayish-skinned female deep gnome. She wears regular, I'll say, a little bit better than common clothes. As far as that, her eyes have a strange blue, translucent look to them, and such. During the day, she was out working with her patron on how to control some of the tricks and spells that he's or she has given them, as far as that, and coming back home after that during the night, she'll spend some time practicing her forgery skills on some simple local magistrate documents and such, and then she'll kind of go off and go and sleep on a pallet that she's built up close to a fireplace in a very modest little hovel.
Okay. While you're sleeping, I'd like you both to make perception rolls at disadvantage because you're asleep. But
Natural 20 or a 2. So that's a 4 total.
I like that. That works. Perception.
Disadvantage.
Yeah. Let's see here. That's a 19.
Wow. All right. In your
That
sleep,
lucky.
your nose starts twitching, and instantly you smell burning Harambe fields. The smell of the sickly smell of Harambe turning into to black melted treacle, and it wakes you up. And there in the distance is the glow. It's the glow of fire out on the Harambe fields.
Nissa would chokingly get up, go to the door, and open it, and holler, "Fire! Fire! Fire! And I didn't do it!"
So gradually, eventually, this will even get through to SB, and there the sky is full of glowing embers blowing from the east, as the sort of nearest village of Harambe Well is. You can see in the distance the glow of Harambe Well burning, and then on the moonlit track leading through the fields towards your place, the dogs are going wild, and so are the cats, and everybody's running around in a bit of panic. The chickens are screeching, and they're coming galloping along the farm track in a Harambe cart, stacked high with Harambe, and pulled by 2 collies is the some people from the next village, Ethrin and Malvo. "The Iron Tyrant! He's coming! He's coming! We gotta flee for the hills!" And as he says that, boom, boom, the ground starts trembling, and in the distance you can see a shadow sort of falling across the country, and a giant man with a giant hammer seems to be sweeping his way across the cornfields, ignoring the flames that are burning around him. And every now and then, his giant hammer comes down, and you hear an cut short in the distance as another Harambe farmer drops.
So is this cart anywhere near me?
Yep.
All right. Then I'd like to try and just burst out the door. Like, I've got my spell book and my pouch of components, and that's it. I'm like, still in my nightgown. I'm just gonna make a break for the cart and try and dive in amongst the Harambe.
You gotta. We gotta get away. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of Owessji. I've heard that there's young Ethrin on the collie wagon is speaking wildly to you. I've heard that if we go eastwards, we can towards the mountains of administration. We can find the notice board tavern, and there adventurers meet, and they might be able to find a way into Abtab or one of the other countries where it's safe from the Iron Tyrant. We got to get out of here.
Well, Nissa will say, "Wait one moment. I have to grab a couple things," and she'll go back inside, and she'll pick up
10 minutes maximum. He'll be here in no time.
Pick up her backpack and her forgery kit and put in there with her practice samples, and then rush back out to the cart and say, "What are you waiting for?"
This will only take you a few minutes. What is SB doing in the meantime?
He is like crawling in amongst the Harambe, trying to like ensure the entirety of him is covered. And then he'd just be like shouting out to the car drivers, "What are you waiting for? Go!"
So eventually, once Nissa has got her things ready, you'll gather in the collie wagon and start wheeling away over the burning Harambe fields. There's fire sort of spreading over turning the Harambe fields into treacle, and black smoke is blowing over the fields, and you can hear the boom, boom, boom of the Iron Tyrant destroying Harambe gnomes all over the place. People you've known for years just going ah, and then disappearing under the force of the banhammer. And you're hurrying along. I'd like you all to make a dexterity save, DC 5, please.
Oh, that's a 15.
A 10.
Okay, you managed to stay on the wagon, but little Mothra, the child, falls off the back, and falls off the back and falls down into a ditch. It rolls down into a ditch behind you as the collies are hurrying away from the Iron Tyrant, who's striding after the wagon. How would you like to react?
She fell. That's her own fault. Keep going.
How? First of all, how old would Nessa believe she to be?
A young child.
A young child. Okay. How far?
Sort of in English, in human terms, probably about 10, 12. That stage of development.
Okay. She's
not yet an adolescent.
She's old enough to make her way. Nissa's thinking. But how close is this hammer gnome banging threat from us?
He is about 100 now. He's about 120 feet away. He's devastated. He's devastated the village, destroyed all other inhabitants. But you were the first ones to wake up and get out, and now you're heading out along the plains in the direction of Notice Board Tavern.
Then Nissa will go ahead and shoot Eldritch Blast at him. And
Okay.
she'll have it kind of reskinned to look like the short sword that she's holding in her picture, going out, flying out towards this creature. And I hope she hits. And that's 15 on the dice, and on her spell, 19.
Okay. That seems to strike the Iron Tyrant.
And that will be ready. That'll be 8 points of magic force damage.
As your Eldritch Blast strikes the Iron Tyrant, you hear "Son of a bitch!" As it strikes him, and he looks towards you, pulls back his banhammer, and throws it at you as a reaction. And it comes flying through the air and hits an armor class of hits an armor class of 27.
It just maybe hit Nissa.
Okay. You take you take 13 hit points. Does that kill you outright?
Yes.
Does that take you to below 0?
Yes.
Double. Oof.
Almost.
What's your max hit points? What's your max
9.
hit points? Okay, so you're 0, but you're not actually negative max. So, okay, and I'd like you also, as it strikes you, to make a saving throw versus a wisdom saving throw, please.
Or does she automatically fail because she's dead? Or
She's not dead; she's unconscious, so she can make this save.
Okay.
Okay. If that's a wisdom, that's a 17.
17?
15 plus 2. Yeah.
DC 18, so close. So you and as it hits you, there's a sort of your last sort of as the pain explodes all over you, and the banter hammer hits you. Yeah, you just feel for a second your vision, and you feel this you hear this sucking noise, and and this whirlwind sucks you down a sort of dark chasm into a plane where there are just ghosts of ex-gamers who cannot game, wandering around, bewailing their lot and things. Meanwhile, you've seen this happen. What would you like to do? You're not out of the game yet, by the way.
All right.
So she's just been destroyed, like right in front of me.
Disappeared. She's been a whirlwind sort of appeared, and she was sucked into the whirlwind, which sort of swallowed her, and she's disappeared from sight.
I'll just scrunch down
She's been
deeper.
hit by the banhammer.
I'll scrunch down
There is
deeper
no mercy.
to hide, and I'll
Iron
cast false life on myself
Okay.
for max, so I get 8 extra hit points there. 8 temporary, and then I'm just gonna hide and cower in my little safe space.
Okay, make a stealth roll. I'll allow you to. I'll allow you to do it as a bonus action.
That's gonna be a 15.
That might. We'll see. He's. You get the impression that he's slightly drunk and he doesn't spot you.
Awesome.
Where you are, but he does. The Iron Tyrant does catch up with the cart and topples it over, trampling on the Harambe. What would you like to do in the meantime? He hasn't noticed you at the moment.
Then, if he hasn't noticed me, I'm not doing anything. I'm just keeping my hiding place and hoping.
Make a poison save from the alcohol fumes that are around.
That's a 10 if I get my Constitution.
Yep, that's okay. That's okay. So there's strong smell of alcohol, but you manage to throw off the worst. Meanwhile, back to Nissa. Can you make a death save, please?
I can try. Let's see here. Okay, 13.
13. You made your first one. Are you going to do anything else, or just lie low? Lie low until he's gone.
I guess I'll keep peeping out every so often, but I'm
okay.
Staying
He with his banhammer. He smashes the other gnomes on the cart. He smashes the collies that were pulling the cart. He tramples the Harambe, kicking it into the mud. But he doesn't notice you where you're lying. And if you do nothing, you think there are other. You hear in the distance other parties screaming and running for the hills in the distance, and he eventually has crushed your cart. And he goes off in the direction of others. Meanwhile, can you make the rest of your death saves, please?
All right. Here comes. Second.
Actually, go on. 15.
She's dead.
No, she made her.
I rolled a 1.
So, no, that's not death. That's 2 death saves. So you could still.
Yeah, that's right. So she failed.
She's made 1.
She has 2.
Failed 2.
2 and
if
1.
If you fail 1 more, you're down.
She's down.
Oh. Okay.
She's got. She rolled a 9.
Okay. I didn't give you inspiration for your characters. Would you like to use your inspiration on these death saves?
Oh hell yeah!
Go on then.
We'll keep the correct one, and
okay.
And she'll re-roll the last one using the inspiration. 12. Okay. So that's
2 fails, 2 successes. So it's up the wire.
And the last, hopefully, last regardless.
Yep, one way or another.
She's dead. An 8.
Well, there is You vaguely, whilst you're hiding there, you vaguely hear the other villager, Nissa Quill Sharpener, sort of a ghostly wailing from the other side. Do you want to give him your inspiration, or do you want to
Absolutely.
save it for yourself?
No,
Okay.
I'll give him my inspiration.
Go So you can use
Okay.
inspiration to roll.
Grouchy old man inspirations. It's not too good. It rolled worse than the other. I got a 3.
Okay. You feel his spirit reaching out to you, but it doesn't save you, and I'm afraid you're dead. Another victim of the
You
Iron Tyrant.
Banned for life.
Sorry, this is so you are now one of the ghosts of the ex-gamers wandering the plains. Sorry that this was so short.
No, that's all. That's okay. I'm good with it. It's the way the dice go.
And then basically after the devastation, then after a while, the Iron Tyrant goes striding off after other Harambe gnomes, and after a short while, there's another pop, and you see the bodies of the band people sort of twisted in a look of horror. Come back from the void where they've been sent. They've looked into the void, and their faces are marked with horror. But you are the only one left. You are the only one left now. Spontifax, what would you like to do? Have you got any way of your companion has come back, but death seems to have taken him?
There's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that I'm alone, I'm just gonna start moving as quick as my old man Bones can to get to the promised land.
Okay. The attention of the Iron Tyrant has moved elsewhere. So you hurry on and eventually you get to the notice board tavern at the bottom of the mountains of administration. Beyond these impassable mountains, you've heard that there are other realms where Harambe farmers and the Harambe tribe will be welcomed with open arms. But you don't know these mountains look menacing and intimidating. Would you like to?
I'll enter the tavern.
You'll enter the tavern. Okay. You enter the tavern, and there are various tough adventuring types waiting around. There's an incomprehensible dwarf in the corner, drinking heavily. Up by the bar, at the very end of the bar, in a dark corner, you see this blonde-haired, magnetic, charismatic person who's drinking on his own, looking over the bar. Sort of friendly-looking, slightly. A friendly-looking man approaches you and says, "Why, you're new here, ain't you?"
Yes, I'm new here. The Iron Tyrant just destroyed my home.
Ah, I've heard. You must be one of the Harambe tribe.
Indeed.
Maybe there were maybe the Harambe crop just became too much. It was tolerated at first, but it seems that the Iron Tyrant has risen up against your lot, and you need to flee. I am the Nap Man. Would you like me to take you? I know all the routes. I know all the routes over this land. Would you like to try your luck?
If you think you can get me there, then I will. I would love.
But
I would.
the blonde magician at the back of the bar stands up. No, there is a way. We need to defeat the Iron Tyrant. There is a way.
It cannot
People
be
say
done.
it's impossible. But if you throw drink at him, you can ask him 3 questions, and then if you can get close enough, you can throw a Cthulhu knitwear on him, which show him some. If you blind him for a moment with the DFC drug, the YouTube DFC, a tube of YouTube DFC, and that will blind him, and then throw a Cthulhu knitwear bag over his head. You can steal his own banhammer and free Owessji from his tyranny forever. Ah, that's just a rumor, says the man on the bar, says the sort of friendlier looking man. It can't be done, but I can lead you over the
things.
I can lead you over the mountains if you like.
Yes. Yes, I would be glad of it.
And then in comes a big Viking who glowers up and down the bar and says, "You better keep out of the way of the Jarl. He has little time for your kind."
Who is he?
The Jarl is one of the primordials of Owessji. He's one of the founding fathers, and he has seen the tyrant rise, and he is one of his closest advisors. One who has the ear of the tyrant. Maybe if you win over the Jarl, he'll be able to sway the Iron Tyrant and lift the ban on the Harambe clan.
He looks much too dangerous for the likes of me.
Then what is it you wish?
I wish to leave.
Then follow me. We need to get through the mountains of administration into the land. You wish to go to the land of Abtab. Is that not true?
This is true.
I can take you over the border, he says. I can take you out of Owessji. Meet me back.
For what?
We come quietly and meet me at the edge of town, at the well of the edge of town. In an hour, I will prepare my things. It's a perilous crossing, but we can make it.
Very well.
Then
I'll probably just get a drink on the way.
Okay. As you get your, the barman says, the barman looks you up and down and says, "What will you be having?"
Whatever's cheapest.
The Jarl glances round at you. Says, "What kind of adventuring do you do?"
Preferably none. But it seems I flee for my life.
Is it not nobler to stand up to your enemies and fight to the death?
It very well may be. But I don't care.
A man who disregards nobility has lost all worth in life.
Maybe I have.
Are you one of the Owessji? Are you one of the Harambe tribe? He says.
I am.
He spits on the floor. Well, good riddance to you, he says.
I'd try and leave at this point,
Okay.
sensing hostility.
You make it out. What there? It's outside the tavern. There are various outbuildings, and the mountains are in front of you. What would you like to do?
I'd probably just go to the meeting place and
Okay.
kind of take a seat, just wait.
After a while, Napman turns up. So, did anyone see you coming?
I don't think so.
Very good. Very good. Well, we need to get over the mountains. It will be a hard climb, and we'll need to go stealthily to avoid. There are many eyes, and the Iron Tyrant has many eyes in this land. But I have walked this land from before the beginning of time. I was once equals with the Iron Tyrant, but I gave up my power and I walk freely now. Come with me, he says, and starts leading you up into the hills. Do you want to follow him, or?
I'll follow him.
Okay.
At this point, like, being so old and now alone, kind of just have to trust and hope.
Okay. You start following him up into the mountains, up and up. It's hard going. Can you make a both? Can you make a Constitution save, please?
20 total, not natural.
Okay. Finding wells of strength that you didn't think you still had. You push up as the altitude gets higher and higher. And then you see a cliff ahead of you that the man thinks you should climb. How will you get up the cliff?
I think it's just gonna have to be
athletics.
My rock gnome fingers.
Athletics and
no magic that can help me with this. That is an 11.
Okay, you climb to the top of the cliff. The old man, well, the other man goes up first, dropping you a rope, and you get to the top of the cliff, and there, the wind is blowing, and there's ice and snow in the wind, and he says, "Just follow on down this valley, and you'll make it over the border and out of Owessji."
Thank you for your help. I'm
good luck. Good luck in your future. I hope you enjoy yourself.
So do I.
And there you see a dotted line in before you. Would you like? You cross over the dotted line, I'm guessing?
I do.
And go down the hill and end up, you've made it out of Owessji successfully. And you get down, and the first community that you come across has long houses and long ships on it. And a Viking comes striding up towards you. And you see that the name of this community is Mifarog.
Oh God, what have I done?
And can you narrate your death in the land of Mifarog?
So immediately I turn around and try and run back, but the cliff is too steep and I can't climb and I slip. And then, as in the first Mifarog game I ever played, an Etin comes crashing out of the underbrush. It's a kraken, the land ones, with its huge tentacles, and it just wraps me up and swallows me whole.
Okay. And there, the end of Harambe Quest ends sadly and unfortunately in the land of Mifarog.
That's amazing.
Tricked by the Napster, you thought you'd made it out, but you failed, and there the unhappy, the tragedy of Harambe comes to an end. I'd like to thank both my players for turning up. Very brief adventure today.
Indeed, so short but so sweet.
It was a very nice, spooful game. Hey, Nissa may have died, but she at least got one hit in.
Yep. Maybe if there'd been more of you, you could have tried to get the dice bag, the Cthulhu dice bag of power, and stun him. But well, unlucky. And there, the saga ends.